Let's talk about the gun legislation that is and is not moving through Congress right now after the horrific shooting in Uvalde, Texas. I sort of touched on this topic briefly in this video a few days ago, but now that I've had time to dig through things a little deeper, I thought I'd update you. And I want you to know there is movement happening right now in Washington, D.C., and I can't always say that. But I do need to explain to you what's been happening first. Let's just start with the House. It's been on recess the entire week, and as of tonight, the Senate is also expected to go on recess. Lawmakers from both chambers will not be back in Washington, D.C. until the week of June 6th. And I know most of you already know this, but a recess is not a vacation. A recess is time for lawmakers to go back to their home districts to work directly with their constituents, which is a critical part of their job. The downside to that is when they're not in Washington, D.C., laws really can't move forward and can't really be voted on. Now, speaking of being voted on, let's talk about what the Senate Majority Leader did just on Wednesday night. He took some procedural steps to get 2 gun bills on the Senate's legislative calendar. Both of the bills have already been passed in the House back in March of 2021. One is H.R. 8, the Bipartisan Background Checks Act, and the other is H.R. 1446, which is the Enhanced Background Checks Act, but you may know it as the Charleston Loophole bill. H.R. 8 would expand background checks on individuals seeking to purchase or transfer firearms. 8 House Republicans actually voted yes to this. H.R. 1446 would close the Charleston Loophole, a gap in federal law that lets gun sales proceed without a completed background check if 3 business days have passed. Now, just because the Senate Majority Leader took these procedural steps to get these 2 bills moving in the Senate does not mean either of them will get a vote, nor does it even mean they will get a debate. This move is just part of the slow as molasses parliamentary procedures that our Congress must follow. And even if, in the off chance that either of these bills make it to a vote in the Senate, they need 60 yes votes to break the filibuster, which means all 50 Democrats and independents plus 10 Republicans. And we've seen in recent times how that math works out. Now, that's not to say nothing can be done. In fact, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, obviously a Republican, today told reporters he encouraged the senior senator from Texas to work with Democrats to find a way to get something done. So those talks are happening. There's also been bipartisan talks since 2019 about a national red flag law, and the House is likely going to take up a bill that would allow family members and law enforcement to get a protection order from a judge to temporarily stop someone deemed a danger from accessing guns. And both sides are talking about these bills. Whether they're talking to each other, at each other, or in completely different directions is definitely up for debate. As for the president, there is virtually nothing he can do without Congress. He can issue executive orders, which he's done around the fringes of the issue, but he can't do anything significant alone. And with a 50-50 Senate and, quite frankly, terrible approval ratings, the president's sway probably won't make that big of a difference to move the needle.